Hi everyone, my name is Sergey Gusev. You are on my channel, which means that today we will continue talking about portrait. And as I promised, today I'm going to review Arteza art supplies. In one of my previous videos I made a drawing using 72 professional colored pencils by Arteza. And in this video I'm going to draw with graphite pencils, provided by Arteza as well. So I've got a set of 12 professional drawing pencils which are made of high quality graphite. There are pencils from 6B to 4H. So I think it's enough to complete a portrait. In this video I'm going to test them out and tell you guys my honest opinion. As a surface for this drawing I'm going to use Arteza drawing pad 9x12 inches, the same I used in my previous drawing tutorial. If you want to get these art supplies, just follow the links in the description. And if you use my coupon code SergeyGusev1, you'll get 10% off. Okay guys, if you're ready, let's get started. I start drawing this portrait from the eyes, and in the beginning I'm going to use 2B pencil. It is quite soft and fits really well the dark spot of the pupil and the iris. Actually, these pencils are quite soft, so you don't need to use 6 or 5B pencils. 1B or 2B is enough for you. I mean, of course, we can use 6B for the dark shadows, but in the beginning we usually start from lighter layers, so we don't need to use really soft ones. Okay, I'm working on the eyes, I'm drawing the pupil, iris, eyelids, and don't forget that the upper eyelid has a thickness which is in the shadow. It makes a cast shadow on the surface of the sclera and cornea. It's quite important for the construction of the eye, because if you forget about that cast shadow on the sclera, the upper eyelid will look a little bit flat. And actually, as I mentioned, it has a thickness. So guys, when you draw, you have to keep in mind the construction of the facial detail you are working at. And here I want to remind you that the eye is basically a sphere, so it has a volume, light and shadow. Please don't make the sclera simply white, add some darker halftones, especially in the corners where it turns away from the light source. It is actually quite simple to understand, just don't forget to apply it in all your portraits. Just keep in mind all those basic rules we constantly talk about on this channel. Okay, and now it's time to move on to the other eye. I'm using the same 2B pencil and start off from the iris, from the pupil, because they are the darkest spots. Again, don't press your pencils too hard, otherwise you can destroy your paper, and we do not need it. It's all about layering, so we start off from the light layers and then put darker ones on top. That is how we make tonal values darker. Don't try to get the darkest darks right away. Remember that the first layer has to be transparent and very light. Then we start slowly adding darker tones on top. In my opinion, this is the easiest way. In my opinion, drawing is mostly about tonal values. So when you draw, we have to think about tonal values a lot. When I say tonal values, I mean light and dark tones. And here it is time to remember about the light source, which makes tones lighter or darker. So if you quickly look at the source picture, you will see that the forehead is quite light. The cheeks, side planes of the head, chin are slightly darker. It happens because the light comes from above, making the forehead the lightest spot in this portrait. Just look at the cheeks, side planes of the head, and you will see that they get darker because they turn away from the light source. So when you draw, you have to compare big planes. When you work on the cheeks, look at the forehead at the same time. Just compare what is lighter, what is darker, and you won't make lots of mistakes. At the same time, you have to keep in mind the construction of the head and facial details. So just remember that the head consists of a lot of small planes, which turn toward the light source or away from it, getting lighter or darker. Just look at the forehead. It has a frontal plane and two side planes. The frontal plane is in a strong light, and the side planes turn away from the light source. They get darker. It is a very simple rule, but you have to always remember about it, and then you won't make mistakes. Okay guys, while I'm working on the skin tones, it's time to talk about the art supplies I'm using this time. I really like the graphite pencils I'm using. They're quite soft, they don't scratch paper, which happens sometimes with graphite pencils. I also like the texture they make on the paper. And again, I've got a set of 12 pencils, which allows me to make really light halftones and also really dark shadows. When I use 6B pencil, I get really black, almost pure black color, which I used in the eyes and shadows on the hair. So in my opinion, it's really good when you have a soft pencil, you don't have to press it so hard to get really dark tone. I also like the drawing pad. It is good not only for sketches, but for long time drawings as well. So I'm really grateful for these art supplies and I'm definitely going to use them some more in the future. And now guys, I want to hear your opinion. Tell me in the comments below if you ever used Arteza art supplies and what do you think about them. Just let me know what experience you had, if you like them and why. If you don't like them, also let me know why. I want to get an objective opinion. If you have never used them and you want to try them, just follow the links in the description. Just use my coupon code and you will get 10% off. Okay, let's go back to the drawing. And right now I'm working on the dark semitones, on the shadows. I'm using the same 2B pencil, but once in a while I'm gonna use 6B pencil. Again, I do not suggest to press your pencils really hard, so in my opinion it is better to use softer pencil. So once in a while take 5B or 6B, especially when you are going to work on the very dark shadows. When you start working on the lips, remember to make the corners very soft and almost merging with the skin around. Remember that the central part of the lips comes out closer to us than the corners which are further away, so make them a little softer. The lower lip gets a lot of light, so I would use 3 or 4H graphite pencil. For the upper one, which is in a shadow, I would use some softer ones like 2B or even 6B in the corners, because they're in a shadow and they're really dark. We are slowly getting closer to the end. Work on the chin. Make sure it's quite dark because it is really far away from the light source, which comes from above, I want to remind you. So you can use some softer pencils like 2B, just don't make it simply black. It still catches some light, so we need to keep it a little lighter than the shadows. At the very end of this tutorial, I'm going to work on the ears and hair. The ears are in the background, so we do not need to pay a lot of attention to it. Remember about the eyes, nose, lips, they are primary. All the other details, especially the ones which are further away from us, are secondary, so we pay less attention to them. The hair is actually quite dark, and I would say that in the shadows it's really close to pure black. So I'm gonna use 6B graphite pencil for the shadow on the hair. Again, make the edges of the hair quite soft, because they are in the background and they should stay there. So make the hair look very soft and smooth. I think it's time to slowly finish this drawing. and at the very end don't forget to work on the neck. It is also in a shadow, so you can use 2B pencil for the first layer and then put some darker tones on top using 5 or even 6B pencils. Okay guys, I think here I'm gonna stop. Today I was drawing with Arteza graphite pencils. It was the first time when I used these graphite pencils and I really enjoyed working with them. I really enjoyed getting this nice crispy texture on the paper. So let me know, what do you think about this drawing, what do you think about these graphite pencils and paper. If you have any experience, just share it in the comments below. I would really appreciate to hear your opinion. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, cause new videos are coming out really soon. Put thumbs up if you like it, share with your friends to help me out. Visit my webpage and download the full video tutorials. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook and Instagram accounts and support me on Patreon. And of course, I wish you good luck with your artworks, guys, and see you very soon.